Okay, so I said I would, do the Walking Dead reviews. Here I am to do it. First season, first video in the lead up of things. I'm really not mentally in it today, guys, so excuse me if I'm a little boring or slow. I don't know. Okay, so as we all know, how the season starts off, how the entire show starts off, is one guy, Rick Grimes, I guess you could call him an ex-sheriff, wakes up in an abandoned hospital with a lot of dead bodies around, and things aren't quite the same as he starts seeing corpses coming back to life. And the whole, point to season one was that, okay, so there's half a story here. First half is him trying to find his son and his wife, and it's, it's okay. I will admit that was the better part of the season. The second part of the season, which was them trying to find a cure, I guess, or find a way to stop this zombie apocalypse. By the way, can I mention the fact that that the whole idea of them not calling them zombies is just absurd to me. Like, I get it. Like, they didn't the world that they live in, they like, in all the pop culture that they have, zombies was never really a thing. So they had aliens and superheroes and stuff, but they never had zombies. I just find that whole concept absurd to me. But walkers, we'll call them walkers because that's what they call them. And the whole first part of the season is Rick trying to find his family, and then the second part is them trying to find a way to stop this whole thing that ends up going nowhere, and that whole big building blowing up. But let's just jump straight into characters. Daryl actually was not. He is one of my favorite characters now, but watching season one, he was not my favorite character at the time. I actually started to enjoy him as the seasons went along. Glenn, however, was an instant hit. Poor Glenn. Oh my gosh. I feel like I don't know. I feel like saying it now that he dies. Yeah, he dies. Spoiler alert, but there's going to be spoilers in these reviews in case you didn't know, because these seasons are old. This show's been running for quite a while now, so if you... Yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? Rick, as a character, I'm starting to see parallels between Rick and, say, someone like Barry Allen. Like, but their characters, like, sometimes you question their actions, and I will say I question Rick as a character quite a bit in the whole show, but in this, he is just trying to do what's right, and I think that's why a lot of people like season. I think that's one of the many reasons why a lot of people like season one a lot more than any of the other seasons, because it was easier to understand what Rick was doing in season one. And I will say this about Rick: he is a lot more relatable in season one. You completely relate to the whole finding the family thing, and I don't know if he was the leader of the group in season one, but he just seemed to have that leader-ish feel to him. I felt like it would have been more interesting seeing him as the main character, but not as someone taking charge in the group. Yeah, I thought it would have been more interesting trying to see him just survive in a group where someone else is the leader. I thought that would have been more interesting. But, they go ahead and, I don't know, make him the leader right away. Yeah, it just feels like that. It would have been more interesting if they went the other route. So one character that I really want to talk about, the character and the actor who plays him, is Shane, played by, what's his name? I totally forgot his name. Oh, that's right, Jon Bernthal. So, Shane as a character, I felt was a bit bland compared to some of the other characters like Glenn and Rick, even Daryl at the time. I feel like John's character Shane was a little, I don't know, I just never really related to him. But specifically what I want to talk about is John's performance as Shane felt, I wouldn't call it a typecast. Like, I wouldn't say that Jon Bernthal is a typecast, but it just feels like his performances as Shane and, say, the Punisher and other characters in movies like Fury just feel like the exact same character. I don't know if any of you guys think the same way or have seen him in any other movies to get your own opinion on it, but I really feel like Jon Bernthal, he was great as the Punisher, okay? But he just, he feels it every time he acts in a movie or a show. It feels like I'm seeing the same character, even though I know I'm not. Yeah, I guess that's my only complaint with Jon Bernthal's performance of Shane and Shane as a character. The one thing that also I think, in my opinion, if you're going to have a show, I'm trying to think of any other show that doesn't have a villain. But all the shows I watch, a lot of the shows I watch have a villain. Now, I'm not saying... Now, okay, so what I think lacked in something like The Walking Dead is we are used to the idea of you know, the living versus the dead, humans versus zombies. We're past that. I feel like The Walking Dead Season 1 was missing a villain. One could argue that, what's his name? Daryl's brother. Oh, Merle. I feel like Merle would be the villain. But I think, you know, yeah, it just lacks something. Season 1 for me lacks something. I'm not saying it's bad. There are a lot of memorable moments in this season. And it's good, but I like, say, Season 7, for example, because Season 7 or Season 3, and one could argue 4, for having, yeah, so Season 3, 4, and 7, for having a good villain. For having good villains. That's why I personally enjoy those seasons more than, say, Season 1, because Season 1 doesn't have a villain. I don't want to ramble and complain about how bad I think Season 1 is, when I actually think it's pretty good. I just think it lacks some things that could have made it better than what it was. And I don't want to piss off all the Frank Darabont fans, but that's just my opinion, okay? You don't have to agree with it, you don't have to accept it. Just know that that's my opinion, okay, and respect it. But what's good about it? Well, the characters. I've said this before in other Walking Dead videos, the thing that makes The Walking Dead what it is and makes it interesting to me is the characters. But for Season 1, it's Morgan. I really enjoyed Morgan, even though he was only in it for one episode. Morgan, Rick, of course, Glenn, and Daryl. Yeah, I really, the characters is what makes this season. Yeah, that's it. Okay, not much really to talk about for Season 1. I feel like, you know, if there were more episodes in the season, then there'd be a whole lot more to talk about, but because there isn't, there's not that much to talk about at all. So yeah, that's it. Like and comment down below, and subscribe. Bye.